to inspire, empower deaf women to be confident. So how can women become a deaf queen boss like you? And what are tips for young women to embrace that mentality?
It was a lot of work. I did a lot of reading, mindset, and learning how to go. I did a lot of self-reflection on myself, who the type of person I want to be, and so I did a lot of work on myself. It was difficult, it's very hard to come out of your comfort zone. And so I knew I had to break it for the better. And it's all about mindset, realistically, how you use it. And mindset is not something easy to develop, especially if we are in this this new norm, how you have to have all this, all that. It's media. It's never always easy, especially if you want to grow as a person. And that's how I developed my mindset. It's really reading books, surrounded by the right people, surround yourself with a great support network, and as well getting myself out there, being part of community, networking events, and getting myself out there with the right people.
Okay. I noticed that you said you read a couple books. What are your top books that really shape your journey, that changed who you are? Can you list top three your favorite books that really help you?
I think I got your question, but repeat your question one more time.
Okay, so question is, you said books that really help you shape who you are. So what are your top books that really help you change your mindset?
There's a book, it's called How to Talk to Myself Positively. It was something like that. That literally said, how do I talk to myself positively? So each page, it had homework. And you will have to say these 3 words, and then they will break down what you have to say to yourself. It was very cool, because I never came across a book like that. So that definitely helped me. Literally, that was the first book. And I was like, I love this book. And I'm telling you guys, I hate reading books. I really do. But that book just got me going with my mindset.
You try audiobooks? How does that help you? Have you tried that or not?
Uh-oh.
Have you tried audiobooks?
I wanted to audiobook, but I didn't know how to use it, because when I started my book, Amazon didn't have the audio session. And so now I'm thinking about doing audiobooks. However, I never listened to audiobooks, the closed caption, because I used an audiobook before, but there was no closed caption on it.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. So, what shift your mindset from, I have a hearing loss, but I'm not going to let that hinder me pursue my aspirations? What did what give me a story behind that? How did it help you to say, I'm not gonna let my hearing loss stop me from pursuing my aspiration?
Okay.
What shifted your mindset?
Everybody's different. I always tell people, when you're trying to shift your mindset, it's really about who do you want to be in the next 5 years. Who do you want to be in the next 5 years? Ask yourself that question, right? If you don't have a goal, then how are you supposed to shift that mindset to achieve your goal? Right? So,
like that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So how, what if a person don't know how to see themselves, who they're becoming? Like how did you figure out you was gonna?
Oh no. You were freezing the last sentence you said.
Okay, I'm gonna say that. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi, but I said, well, we gotta keep going. The show must go on. What I said is, what if a person don't know how to figure out who they want to become and see themselves? You already have figured out the person that you want to see yourself. You're working towards. How would you able to help with that person?
Very simple. I make them write down 3 simple things that they want in the next 5 years. Rather a successful career, a business, or a book. I just make them freestyle their mind. I feel like a lot of times people don't freestyle their mind because they're so hooked onto what they want. And when you freestyle your brain, especially when you're writing something down, you're able to see what you really want slowly and really understand that you cannot control everything that you want. Sometimes you have to take a step back and let your brain freestyle what it is that they're thinking about. And I always tell clients, write the top 3 things that you really want. Even if, let's say, for example, I had a client, she didn't know what she wanted to do the next 5 years. So I said, okay, what about next year? What is it you want to do next year? She's like, well, I want to travel. And I'm like, okay, perfect. So now we break it down. Where do you want to go travel? And she did it in the Caribbean island. So I said, okay, now break it down. Well, what month do you want to go for? I said, oh, maybe in August. Now break it down. How many days do you want to go there? And she's like, oh, maybe this date. So you break it down, breaking it down. You realize, wow, this is what I really want. So once you break down what you're specifically looking for, either next year or the next 5 years or 10 years, you are able to achieve your goal faster because it's more specific instead of a big goal, right? We all have big goals that we want to accomplish, but we don't know how to break it down. So that's how I usually teach people and show them how they can do it.
Okay, we got one question that says, she's Love Yourself said, how can you explain that discipline is important for mental health? Okay, so that was one of my notes. So, all right, so first, like, how, I know you are in the field of mental health and psychology. How is
mental health is so important because mental health can to your brain in 2 seconds. And some people don't realize that. And because I always tell people, again, you can't control what you're thinking, but you can control how to discipline your brain. There's a difference. Right? So you can control to discipline it to be like, no, we're not thinking like that. Right? It's what you see. So let's say if you're going on social media, you see, like, I don't know, a car, a luxury car, and you're like, I want this car, but you have control of telling your brain, stop, you're not doing that, right? So you can discipline your brain and yourself, no, because you do not have control of what you see and what you hear. You don't have control of that, but you do have control of discipline of how you want things to go.
I really like that. We want things fast, like a microwave. We want things fast, but it's just like we had to learn delayed gratification. You know what I mean? That is very, very key. You know, sometimes I do that to myself. I want this right now, but I gotta. You know, it's nature. We all go through it. I want things now, but I gotta tell myself I have to be patient. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's pending. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's why I tell myself each day, did we answer your question? I should say interest. All right. If you got any question, feel free to drop the question. Either me or her will answer it. So let us know. So yeah. I want to talk about. I know you have. I'm gonna keep talking. So I know you have a coaching service. So can you tell us more about your online service and
Yeah,
so
for
people
sure.
can get
So
a clear
what I
idea
do
what
is
you
I
do?
help people. So I teach people how can we go from being hard on ourselves to let go of the anger we have in ourselves. How can I leave? And the second thing I do is I teach them the tools that we can do to depress and self-esteem. So we do, and the third thing I do, homework with the client. The client will have homework to work on things at home instead of one-on-one. Because if you don't give the client the homework to do, they're not able to learn on their own. My goal is to teach my client how to be independent without me or anybody else around them. Because at the end of the day, you only got yourself, right? And I think we all want to feel that we got our own self. And that's my whole goal of my coaching, to really let people know that they can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
But I love the independence. Give them like really free thinking, like really think for themselves. You know, what I mean, not relying on others to think for themselves. You know, what if they gone? How would you able to handle different situations? And I really that how you give them homework and really self reflect and knowing how they can improve themselves. But process how they can a coaching session with you. How they can schedule an appointment with you.
Okay, you need to repeat again because you're frozen on my side again.
Oh my. Yeah, my people, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to get this data working. I'm so sorry, guys. But my question is, how what is the process of people scheduling a coaching call session with you? The point if they want to work with you, how explain how that work?
Okay. So usually I have a 3-month package with all my clients. So I meet with the client once a week. And we do an hour session. Again, it depends on client prefer shorter session or longer session. Again, it depends on the client. I do not, tell my client, oh, you need to do an hour. Whatever you feel comfortable, because talking about mental health, overcoming things can be a little draining for us. And sometimes we just need something 30 minutes just to cool off, just to really think about what happened during the session. Because some people cannot go over an hour in a session unless they really like the person who is coaching them. So yeah, so that's how the structure is. And then once a week, I will give them homework to do so that they can do something independent.
Okay, that's very interesting. Do you have I'm trying to see. How did you go through the process of mental health in your journey? Like, what are strategies that help you through going through adversity, going through struggles? How did you navigate
I
that?
had a great support system with my friends and family, so it's important that we do have that support system. And second thing, what I did was I actually tried my best to find a counselor who was consistent, but and the reason why I had a counselor was because I was super overwhelmed with school. I was used to be working, and I needed someone to talk to that was, available for me. And so it was very good to talk to, but I wanted very hard for me. So, so instead, I stopped doing the counseling. I watched a lot, read a lot of books about self-development, and and there's some books I didn't like, but I kept going, right? And I said, you know what? There's going to be a book that I'm going to like, and I will learn from it. I kept going. I kept reading, and I kept surrounding myself with different peers and friends and community. I kept going and going and going, and I'm growing as a person. person, and I would never too hard on myself, because I feel like when we are trying to grow, especially as a person, we're always hard on ourselves.
That's so true. I mean, it's a good thing to be hard on yourself. You're striving, you're pushing. So is it a good thing or a bad thing?
It was a bad thing. For me, it was a bad thing because I wanted to grow like so quick so I can be the best version of myself. Like, it was really bad, you guys. Like, it was so bad, and that's when I learned not to be hard on myself and just take it day by day, because life is a roller coaster at the end of the day, and that was something I had to learn the hard way, right? So I'm like, hey, I need to stop being hard on myself. Life is a roller coaster, and life is a movie, and that's how I think about it, right? Life is a movie. Like, there's going to be doors up and down, and there's going to be something that's going to come at you like a ball. And you have to learn how to handle it.
That is so true. That is so true. You mentioned you watched some YouTube videos. What are YouTube channels that you watch? I'm curious.
Oh gosh, like, I was in university at that time. I don't remember the guy's name. What's his name? It was, I don't remember his name. I think if I find it, I would know who it is. But I don't remember who it was. I don't remember. I just typed, honestly, this is how I found him. I literally just put in how to improve self-development. That's what I did. And he was the first person that popped up, and I just clicked it. And I was like, oh, I love what he's saying. And then I kept watching more and more. I don't remember the first name, but yeah.
Okay. Speaking of school, I want to go back to, you said you had your hearing loss at the age of 4, right? So tell me, what was it like growing up with 4 and growing up, and what did it?
Oh boy, it was a lot. Hearing loss. It was a lot for myself and for my family. I actually went to 2 schools. So I went to the hearing school, and then I went to the deaf school.
Okay.
So the 2 schools helped me to balance how to communicate. It really helped me to understand what it's like to communicate in terms of different people, not just the community. And I learned that everybody's communication style is so different, and I feel like I'm an expert in telling people behavior. When I'm talking to someone, I know if they're interested or not interested. I feel like I'm an expert in that. And so I learned a lot. And growing up, of course, we all face bullying, peer pressure. I had to learn how to fit in. And obviously it caused a lot of mental health because, as a young teenager, you don't know what you're doing. You just want to be like everybody else. That was me. I was that girl. And so I was just, I don't know. And, but yeah, it's a challenge. Obviously, I did face a lot of challenge in terms of advocating for myself. I think that was something I had a biggest problem with, is advocating for myself during my teenager time.
Speaking with self-advocating yourself was a challenge. So going through, I know you got your bachelor degree and your graduate degree from psychology and mental, right? So how did you self-advocate? How did you speak up for yourself during school?
Okay,
how did you self-advocate
yourself? The last thing you froze on my hand.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
You can hear me, right? I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. Okay. All right. So speaking with you said you self-advocacy was a challenge in school. So going through college, how did you self-advocate? Was there still a challenge when you college, or did you you started speaking of yourself, get accommodations? Like, how did you give me that story? Like you was self-advocating yourself.
So honestly, I'm gonna tell everybody this. It was very hard for me to advocate for myself. To tell me when I go home, I literally, honestly, I was so scared to talk to my teacher. And that one family literally sit down with me. They said, Kalina, we love you, but you need to talk up. And I was like, I can't. They're teachers, and I don't know why. I was scared. And so finally, that one day I went to school, and I told my teacher I need help with something, with accommodation. And so she's like, okay, no problem. My mouth dropped, and I'm like, you help me? And so my teacher, she loves me, actually. I didn't even know that. And she's like, Kalina, you need to talk up. You cannot be underneath the rug all the time. And so I think that kind of woke me up a little by having my family push me to tell me to say you need to go and do it on your own because you need to be independent. And that's something my mom, my grandma, my aunt, they all taught me that. Be independent. The only way you will know it's going to work out if you open it.
Wow. Wow, that's huge. And I don't know, would were you scared, or did you have that stigma? Because I know stigma is a very big in the deaf community and the hard of hearing community. We're so afraid what other people might say or how they perceive us, and that's very huge. And what made you say, you know what, fuck this, I gotta do this for me, my future? And what made you overcome your fears? Like, what was that the mindset, what process? I gotta do this.
Okay, so
Like, speak up for my
how this whole thing happened was when I actually worked at a big park in Canada, and there was a little boy came up to me. My hair was literally like this in a ponytail. Like, I didn't care. It was super hot outside, and I put my hair in a ponytail. The little boy came to me, and he's like, Miss, like, look, I'm wearing hearing aids. And I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing hearing aids. And me and the kid is so excited, okay? And so the mom came to me, and she said, think you did that? Little things like that, you just changed my son's hope. Because she was telling me she had a difficult time telling the son nothing was wrong with him. And because he met me, his hope is like, oh my God, I found a deaf person. It was so cute. And right there, that's when I knew I'm going to make an impact in the younger generation because I never had someone that looked like me. If that little boy can be so hopeful and be like, oh my God, I'm going to kill the whole world because it doesn't matter if I'm deaf or not. And that mom said to me, you're going to make the change in the world by just doing that, and you don't even understand what's coming for you. And I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that until now. Now that I'm here, and I'm like, that mother was right.
Wow. Shout out to your mom, man. Shout out to your mom. Your mom's the GOAT. Speaking, I know it's back to school season. Everybody's going to back to like school, college, high school. Do you have any like tips or strategies for students to self-advocate during classroom, get those combinations? You know, just do you have any tips to really help them out to really speak
number
up
one,
for
I
themselves?
disability
Any tips?
counselor. Speak with them 100% about your IEP, your accommodation in the classroom. Follow up with them first thing, the first week you come in. Number two, do not wait anything for last minute. Okay, that's my advice. Do not leave anything last minute. Okay, students, if you're reading it, is build a good relationship with your professor. Try and build it, even if it's good, but at least your professor know that you are taking the initiative of advocating for yourself, and they're gonna respect more and say, you know what, the student is really trying. I can actually support the students as much as I can. So I remember, for me, when I was in university, the very first day I introduced myself to my professor. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm hard of hearing. Here's my accommodation. What is it you can do to help me? If you just have that one conversation with the professor, they're going to respect you no matter. They're like, okay, no problem. How can I support you? You'll be surprised how professor reacts. You'll be surprised. So that's my advice.
Wow, that's huge. I hope take advantage of that. And that last minute, what you said, I agree with you. Don't wait till the last minute. Please don't. Please. Did you have any bad professors?
Yeah, I had my very first year. My very first year, you guys, my professor failed me because he did not want to accommodate me. But hold on, here's a funny trick. So I told my disability counselor, and she got upset because she also emailed him my accommodation. So he got in big trouble from the department because we showed proof and evidence, and we're like, you need to drop her grade now. And you're on suspension. Bye-bye.
Wow. Wow. You see, this is what happens when you speak up. You have a voice. Exactly. When you speak up, you get what you want. And I hope that I'm so thankful that you share your story, and I hope that it gets to their mind that they start speaking up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wow. Let me see. I want to talk about your book. Talk about your book. You know, I gotta support you. So what if, I gotta support you. My fault. So I'm gonna leave this book right. Let me see if I can do this. So people can look at it. I don't know.
Hope he doesn't fall.
But what inspired you to? Let me see. Let me turn this way. Give me a second. Let me see if I can turn this way. Is that better?
There you go. It's gonna fall. I knew it was gonna fall.
I'm so sorry. I like to do things extra, but let's get to the point. All right. So what inspired you?
So a lot of times when I meet someone, they never met a deaf person. So I just thought to myself, I'm like, maybe I should write a book. I always wanted to write a book when I was a kid. I always have wanted to. So then I ended up having a mentor when I started my entrepreneur journey. And she said to me, Kalina, start writing a book. I'm like, very funny. I always wanted to dream of writing a book. She's like, no, start it now. So I'm like, okay, what's the rush? And so she said, no, because I never read a book by a deaf author. And she said to me, do a test. Go ask people in the hearing community if they read a book by a deaf author. And I'm like, wait, if I ask that question, 90 or 80% of them are going to say no. Because I know, because I haven't read a book by a deaf author myself. And I was like, what if I become the first deaf author that a lot of people read? So I did the test. I asked like 150 people. They all told me no. Yeah, I asked a lot of people. They said no. Yeah. I asked, and they all told me no. And they said, why'd you ask? Are you writing a book? And I said, yes, I am. And they're like, okay, we will support you. So I said, I just jumped on writing my book right away. It took me 3 months to write my book. 3 months. I had an editor. And great job. I love her to death. And I published it like maybe 1 month later or 2 months later, I kept going and going, telling people I did the book. And then from there, it was super successful. A lot of great feedback from the book. And then I became a speaker. Everybody reached out to me like crazy about the book. And then that's why I wrote my book.
Wow. 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 I want you guys go get this. But what they can order? Amazon?
Yes.
It's only Amazon?
Amazon. It's only on Amazon, yeah, for now, because I was actually looking to put it in the bookstore. So I'm just trying to figure out how that's going to work. Because I'm in Canada, for those who don't know. I'm not American, so I have to do a lot of things over in the U.S. So I'm trying to put it in a bookstore. That's my next goal.
Okay. We got another question. She said, "What did you went for college for? If you don't mind asking." So, what did you go to college for? I mean, where?
College?
Like where?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Repeat? Yeah.
Yeah, we have another question that said, "What did you went for college for? If you don't mind asking." So, where did you?
So I
what
went
college did you go to?
Flemington College, and then I went to York University.
Okay. I hope that answers your question. So you study psychology,
and then I studied mental health in addition.
Oh wow! So why? I'm curious. Why that major?
So because
why
psychology, it covers everything, right? It covers like cultural psychology, anthropology, neuropsychology. It was like a bunch of things that I was studying, right? And then I was trying to figure out what type of psychologist I wanted to be. And then I knew I wanted to study mental health, and that's why I changed into mental health. Yeah. So I have a psychology degree and a mental health certificate. Yeah.
Wow. Do you see yourself going to doctorate degree? I'm not. That's it.
No. I'm done with school. Oh my god. I can't go back to school.
Why? Too much?
Too much headache.
Too
much assignment.
Stress?
I'm okay over here.
Okay. That's good. And at least you're to the top. Most people cannot get their graduate master's degree, so you should be very proud of yourself. So yeah, that's yeah. You should be proud of yourself. What I wanted to ask. Oh yes. So on page 62 of your book, you wrote, "I am more just my disability." So that disability, that word is kind of that stigma in the disability community, deaf community, hard of hearing community. For me, I don't like the definition. So how would you redefine that word disability? What does disability mean to you?
I feel like deaf and disability, I define it as my gifts and my superpower. The reason why I say that is because being unique is amazing. You want to stand out of the crowd. And that's something that everybody always keeps telling me, you're unique, you're different. And I did not want to be different. And when I got older, I realized maybe I am different, but I like that because not everybody can have access to me. And I love that. Because you don't want everybody to have access to you because people can walk all over you. When you have limited access, you know who is worth your time. So for me, being deaf, having a disability is a gift.
Okay. Interesting. see. Oh, I wanted to go back. I wanted to go back. What advice would you give parents who are just learning that their child is having a hearing loss? You know, it's a very tough situation. You know, they found them that their child is deaf. You know, if they're going through a lot of stress, they don't know. Like, what advice or tips or strategy or resources that you can help parents with finding out their child having a hearing loss?
So my very first thing, I love helping parents. You don't understand. I love helping parents. The very first thing I would say is connect with your child to a deaf camp. I never been to a deaf camp before. Find out if there's a deaf camp. The only reason why I say that is because it's very important that your child can connect with someone or have a community that they can connect with. It's so important that you can build that for your child. That's one. Number two, volunteer in the disability community. Understand the hearing loss community. Understand the devices. Understand how can your child hear. Study the audiogram. Understand your child. Because if you don't understand your child, how are you supposed to help them succeed in school or in the future, right? And number three is don't be afraid to treat your child like a normal human being. Don't be afraid to do that. I never felt like I was different in my family. My family never treated me different, just like everybody else in the household. They never done that before. And my family makes sure that I was also doing a lot of hearing loss, the hearing loss activities. For example, I used to be an active kid. I used to play sports, soccer, rugby, you name it. I was doing everything. And all my teammates were hearing, except for me. I was the only one that was deaf. But I learned how to be independent by myself because my family put me in extra activities to make sure and teach me how to be independent without them. And that's what they did. And a lot of time when people meet me, they're like, oh, you know how to interact very well with a hearing person. And I said, well, because my family made me start it young. They put me in sports. They told me to do, extra stuff. And, I did not think I was capable of doing it. But then my family pushed me and I had no choice. Really, I did not. So that's my advice for all the parents out there. If you find your child struggling, don't be afraid of letting your child feel free. Let them go a little bit. Cannot always hug them like a teddy bear because you're not giving them room. And that's not what we want for a child, especially if a child has a disability. We want to let them go sometimes because at the end of the day, they will fall. They will fall.
Mothers are very sensitive. Mothers are very sensitive. They want to hold on the child, and they're very scared to lose that child because my mom always told me I carried for 9 months. It's just very annoying. But what age should parents should give them? What age? Is there like a age range or maturity level?
Start from when they're young. It could be 5, 6, or even when they go to kindergarten. That's when you should let them be free in kindergarten. Because it's like saying, well, if you treat them young, they will know better in the future. Correct?
That's true. That is true. So you're saying that just start when they're young and then let them teach themselves, and then let them go?
So my family with me, so they kind of let me go a little bit when I was in kindergarten, and then it's slowly. And then when I got into middle school, they fully let go of me. Not fully, but they give me enough space. Had a young teenager. Had a teenager, you have to let your go.
Wow. I want to get to a few more questions and I wanted to, let me see. So, look, I want to get back to your book. What I forgot to mention. What advice would you give people who want to become an author? Do you have any tips or strategies for
So
those
I
who want
always
to become
tell
an author?
people, one, what is your goal of your book? That's my advice. What is your goal of your book? Why are you writing the book? What is the purpose, right? Before you even write a book, talk about that with yourself. That's one. Number two, time management is so important when writing a book. A lot of people don't understand. Writing a book takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. Don't be too hard on yourself to say, you know what, I don't like this sentence. Maybe I should reword it. Leave it. Finish the book, go back, edit it, and that's it. And then go hire an editor who can help you edit your book. Because the more we overthink and the more we keep reading our book, the book is never going to get finished.
I hope my people got that information. Speaking of your book, I noticed that on page 84, you said dating is scary. Do you think women should tell on the first date they should have the guy they dating, they should have a
It all depends on the person. For me, I always tell people keep it private for the first date to see how comfortable you are with the person. Number two, see if you feel like, test yourself. Be like, what if I told him that I'm hard of hearing or I'm deaf? Will he respect me? Right? Or even the woman that you're seeing, same with guys. A lot of guys can't hide their cochlear implants or their hearing aid because of the haircut. I used to have a guy friend too, and he wear hearing aids, and he was nervous to go on dates. And I said to him, the right person will give you so much love. The wrong person won't give you the love. There's always going to be that one person for that one person to fall in love with. There's always going to be that one person. So never doubt yourself that you do not deserve love. You do deserve love, but you just haven't met the right person.
I really like that. That is key. So when you when you go on dates, do you like really? So you don't tell them on the first date at all. You just keep it private. So on the second or third date, did you tell them? Okay, so what was the guy's reaction?
Of course, there's some guys that said that. There's some guys, like, oh, that's not gonna work. I said, okay, no problem. And then they'll be surprised that I have a lot of confidence in myself. I don't care. If you don't like it, the door is right there. The door is right there. You can leave. I don't care, right? But some people, they will feel intimidated and ask why God made me deaf. Why can I not date? And I always tell people, you cannot blame yourself or the other person because maybe it's not meant for you now. Maybe this guy's not meant for you. Because think about it, and I always tell people, in the long run, will that person still respect you and still love you? No. So it's better to get a reaction sooner or later. I love when I get reaction sooner than later.
How did you build that confidence? Like, you know what? I love myself so much. I don't care whether you accept me or not. Where did that confidence come from? Because you said when the door is right there, you can leave. But most girls were like, I need to feel validated. I need that. They don't have that confidence, self-love. Where did that confidence come from?
It just came from my family. My family taught me a lot about confidence. They always talked to me about, their dating life when they were a kid. And so they always taught me a lot of things about dating, what to expect, and also taking things to it my family did have a conversation with me about dating when I was in my teenager life. And they told me, and they warned me. And I feel like when you are warned by your family members, you know, okay, this may not happen or this may happen. You just don't know. So my family prepared me for this situation. I did a lot of role playing with my family member. If a guy was not interested, what do I do? What do I do next? So that's how I built my confidence in dating, by saying the door right there. Yeah, that's how I built my confidence.
Wow. That is huge. Shout out to your mom. Like, wow. Like, how important is
Super
family
important.
support? Like,
It's
how
very
important is
important.
that?
And not everybody have the family support like I do, but if you do have a good friend support, you do. I think our friends are more there who understand us better than our family. So if you have that friend support, use it.
Wow. All right. Wow. We've been here almost an hour, so I'm gonna. We got to. And 2 more questions. Do you have any exciting plans?
Yeah. So I'm actually excited to announce I'm going to be launching a new business. I am going to.
Wow.
So I'm actually going to be starting a new business. It is going to be a virtual assistant agency. So I'm going to be helping small business owners to help them grow the business with affordable budget. Just because a lot of small business owners don't have the budget to spend money on an assistant, and I wanted to help the small business to upscale the business.
Wow. So there's no name.
It's actually
or
underneath my business, Career
find out?
Empowerment. So it's going to be under umbrella. So I have a coaching business, and my virtual assistant agency will be below it.
Wow. Okay. Last final question. As we wrap up, what is one advice would you leave our audience who's going through like adversity and challenges? You know, what advice motivation would you give to people out there?
So if you're someone young, I just want to let you know that, listen, it's okay. Tomorrow is going to be a different day. Don't give up. Because if you give up, your future self is waiting for you. Remember that. Your future self is waiting for you.
I like that. Thank you so much for coming to Instagram Live. I can't wait to see you reach greater heights, and I can't wait to see you.
Have a good